Hi, I'm Muni.
And I'm Annette. We are a mother-daughter duo who are tackling the globe one country at a time.
Join us to see how we explore each city while traveling with my two boys under the age of 3. On this episode, we'll be exploring the enormous city of Tokyo, as well as showing you our experience on the bullet train, the neighborhoods of Shinjuku, Shibuya, as well as Harajuku, and some surprises that you'll just have to see by tuning in. In order to get to Japan, we took Jeju Airlines from ICN in Seoul to arrive in Tokyo. You can think about this as something similar to Spirit Airlines like we have over here. If you are traveling from another destination in Asia, I highly recommend using this airline because it actually was a really great experience. I purchased these tickets on booking.com a few weeks prior to our vacation, and the process was very seamless. It's the first time I've used either of those companies, booking.com and Jeju Airlines, and I can honestly say that I would use it again. Once we arrived in Narita Airport, we actually disembarked from the plane onto the ground versus directly into the building, which was a surprise. We have made it to Tokyo.
Another country check.
If you've seen our first few episodes, you know the bathroom is the first place I go after we arrive to any destination and before leaving out for an excursion. And this was no different. The bathrooms here were clean, super high tech, and easy to use. After a quick pit stop, we were on our way to meet our driver and to walk the far distance from the terminal to the parking garage. I can truthfully say in all of my years of flying, I have never encountered a parking garage that was farther away from the airport than this one. We walked for at least 25 minutes in order to get to the car that our private driver had arranged for us. This thing is going fast.
This thing is going like Cleveland Hopkins with a
Thankfully, Muni arranged for a private driver to take us from the airport to Tokyo. Man, that was a far walk. We walked, but luckily the driver helped us with our luggage. Even though I was sweating, I was glad that we had the assistance.
On this leg of our trip, there were 5 adults and 2 children. It just did not make financial sense to try to stay at a hotel. Therefore, we found an Airbnb that was large enough to accommodate all of us in the trendy neighborhood of Shibuya. This Airbnb will be linked down below, and I can say that honestly, it was the best case scenario when it comes down to a stay in Tokyo. A lot of the hotels that I was seeing online were very old, small, dingy, and didn't have a whole lot of space for the kids to roam around. This Airbnb was actually 3 floors, the first of which had a nice bathroom, a living room, and a full kitchen. There were complimentary slippers, as taking off your shoes in someone else's home is customary in Japanese culture. On the second floor, there were 4 bedrooms, one of which was a traditional Japanese bedroom where you could actually sleep on the floor, while the other bedrooms had large, comfy, traditional beds. There was a water closet with a separate tub and shower room. I remain quite surprised at how much space there actually was in this Airbnb when you think about us being downtown in a major metropolitan area. Perhaps the best thing about this Airbnb was the surprise on the 3rd floor, which was a beautiful balcony. From this balcony, we could soak up the sun as well as see a lot of the sights of downtown Tokyo. By the time we arrived, we were desperate for food, so we went to the closest grocery store, which was Lawson's, the real MVP of our entire Japan trip, to see what snacks we could find. A lot of the things that we saw were in Japanese. Of course, we don't speak Japanese, so it was challenging to figure out what to eat, but ultimately we were able to load up on some bananas, some rice packets, some fresh fruit, as well as an impromptu Uber Eats delivery from good old McDonald's. Don't judge us, y'all. Those fries are reliable. All right, first morning in Tokyo. How do you feel?
I feel good. Got a full night's sleep.
5 a.m., that's a full night to you?
Yeah, I went to sleep early.
Good for you.
Yep, it was good.
We're gonna go to breakfast.
Yes, because I'm hungry. You know it's late for me to eat. Getting around in Tokyo was much easier than it was in Korea because we could use Uber to get everywhere we had to go. We didn't even have to speak Japanese. We just had to input the information, the pickup and the drop-off spot, and we were golden. We went to go get breakfast, and we decided that we needed the traditional American pancakes. After a long search online, Muni found the pancake place. This place was small, but it was quaint, and you can see them preparing the food right in the back. There was a long table with lots of other customers, and once we were seated, we were eagerly anticipating our food. We had pancakes and eggs, and it was delicious.
How was breakfast?
Breakfast was good. I feel much better.
Absolutely. Some good old pancakes to start the day. Starch it up. So, unfortunately, because we decided to stop for yummy pancakes, we made ourselves quite late for our reservation to do go-karting, or Mario karting as they say, in downtown Tokyo. To get from where we had breakfast in the neighborhood of Shibuya to the Tokyo go-karting place in Asakusa, it actually took about an hour in an Uber. It started off as 25 minutes, but with the traffic, it kept going longer and longer and longer. However, the staff at Monkey Cart were so accommodating. We arrived 3 hours late, but they still let us participate. Within 20 minutes, we were already briefed, trained on using the go-karts, potentially changed into costumes if you wanted to dress like Pikachu or other anime characters, and we were ready to go out the door. It is illegal to drive with your phone in your hand in Tokyo, so we don't have any footage, but we can promise you it was well worth the ride. Just went go-karting. How was it, guys?
Fun, fun, fun. It's done.
It's done.
My oldest daughter was still on her quest to find fabric to make her products or souvenirs from her trip abroad to Asia. So we went to the fabric store, and my goodness, there was so much stuff in there. It was almost overwhelming. They had fabric and yarn and buttons and scissors and anything that you can use to have a sewing project. She was in heaven. There was so much that she wanted, but she settled on some denim and some tweed, and she paid, and it was good.
Gigi, how are you feeling, my dear?
I'm okay. Hungry, thirsty, tired. I need a magnet. Thank goodness it was done because I was starving. I was ready to get something to eat. That took forever. It's a little ironic, but we decided to get Korean fried chicken in Japan. We searched and searched menus from different restaurants, and that's what we chose. Crazy, huh?
We made this decision because my sister had yet to try her tteokbokki, and I wanted to try the famous Korean fried chicken. As an African American, I have high standards when it comes to fried chicken, and I would say this was probably a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. After finishing our food, we stepped right outside the mall to encounter Shibuya Crossing, also known as Shibuya Scramble Crossing, which is one of the most famous intersections in the entire world. During peak times of the day, which this clearly was, you can see as many as 3,000 people crossing it simultaneously. I think that is so amazing, and I did not choose to go inside the melee. We continued walking because I wanted to find the Adidas Harajuku store. To my surprise, it was only about a 15-minute walk away from the Shibuya Crossing. In the store, they had some limited edition just for Japan clothes, shoes, and accessories. And you know I had to get something to go home with. It overall was a really, really great walking excursion. Shop till we drop. This is the drop part of Shop Till You Drop.
Oh my goodness, I was so tired. How I hate shopping not online. In Japan, the showers are a little different. They're kind of tricky. Sometimes you have to lift the lever, you have to turn a button, you have to press a button, turn a dial. Once you figure it out, though, the water pressure is great. One thing I can say about the people in Japan, they take showers with good water pressure. The showers are located in a separate wet room where everything in there can be wet, so don't put your clothes down. Talk about excited. The next morning, we were ready to tackle the bullet train. Of all the things to do in Asia, that was at the top of my list. I wanted to go 200 miles an hour, so I was excited. It was everything that I expected it to be, and then not. Because I wanted to go 200 miles an hour, but it didn't feel like it.
Honestly, tackling the bullet train has been one of the most stressful travel experiences that I have had up to date. I originally purchased the tickets online on the official website 3 weeks before we left. At that point in time, there was still good availability from Tokyo to Osaka. I did not know at that time that you were supposed to select a seat that has extra luggage space for an oversized bag, and I also didn't know that my sister would be transporting a huge 80-pound suitcase. Therefore, we almost ended up getting kicked off of the train because we just did not have a seat that could accommodate so much stuff. It also wasn't super clear where we were supposed to go. Not many of the signs were in English, and I was in line with a lot of fellow Americans and Europeans who had no idea what we were supposed to do and where we were supposed to go. Luckily, we got to the train station about 2 hours early, and we had time to explore. We realized that instead of going to the right, we should have gone to the left. And it also took quite some time to figure out how to get the tickets from my phone into a physical ticket so that you could insert it into the turnstile and receive a receipt on the other end. The staff there and the conductors did not speak English whatsoever, so we really were on our own, wandering around the train station, attempting to figure out where we were supposed to go. There were no elevators, so for us who had this abundance of luggage, as well as the stroller and the baby, it took several trips, 5 to 6 trips, in order to get everybody up the stairs and ready for the train. We debated and debated and debated what we were going to do because we were told that we had too much luggage and that we couldn't get on the train until 7 p.m. tonight. I was so stressed out, ready to melt down. No one was around to help us. There was no communication whatsoever. So we just said, let's just try to get on the train and see what happens. And if they kick us off, they kick us off. Lo and behold, we got on the train and nothing happened. We're on the train.
We're on the train.
For now.
I'm over Japan. Thank you very much. Peace out. Not coming back.
It's too much.
Never say never, say never.
Well, we're here, so
We gonna have fun in Osaka. But this train, the thing that I wanted to do the most, has caused us the most stress.
for sure. But we're here, alhamdulillah. Even if they kick us off the train, we'll still be closer to Osaka than when we started.
On the bullet train, there was lots to see and do. The seats were comfortable. You had lots of ample leg room. It even had a footrest so you can put your feet up to kind of alleviate the pressure. We had reserved seating, and the seating allowed us all to sit together, and over the seats was where we could store our luggage. Everybody's suitcase fit there except for my daughter's, who had a giant suitcase and overpacked, but that's another story. The bullet train offered services. The first thing that happened was some attendant came by and they offered us hot towels so that we can sanitize our hands. So we washed our hands with the hot towels and we thought we were going to get service. Not so. You had to order anything that you wanted to eat and drink from an app. The information was located in the back of the seat pocket, but for some reason our app wasn't working. Of course, we had limited Japanese knowledge, and a kind person behind us had to help us navigate the system. You had to pay in the Japanese currency. Of course, we did not have enough. We scrambled and scrambled between all the adults in the party, and we eventually had enough money to purchase our snacks, which were fine. There was no complaints about that. They walked you to they walked the snacks to you on a tray, and then you were able to finish it. Just like in an airplane, when done, they would come by and take away your trash. On the bullet train, of course, you're going to have to go to the bathroom after being on the train for a long time. And the bathrooms were clean. There were some that were just like the airplane, very small but clean. And you didn't feel like you were moving 200 miles an hour. And there was supposedly another bathroom that was family style, and you were able to go in there if you had a baby and needed to change diapers or nurse or anything like that.
And before we knew it, the 2 hours had passed and we finally arrived in Osaka. I was so excited to see that they actually had an elevator, unlike Tokyo. Tune in next week for Tackling Osaka.